Hello guys, Captain Foley back with you again today, and it is time to resurrect an old series. Rant alerts. Thank you, Tomy. Attention all hands. This is Captain Foley. Condition Rant. So we are here today to talk about the TOMY Enterprise, the $600 US Enterprise, which is going to be, was promised to be, a 350 scale, about 32 inches long, TOS Enterprise in die-cast metal, complete with lights, complete with saucer separation, and promised to be an awesome collector's piece for the price. Well, as you guys know, there's been a lot of shenanigans over the course of all of this, and they just released a statement, which I'll read to you now. To our collector community, through the course of development of the Star Trek NCC 1701 USS Enterprise, a specific design detail we thought we could achieve could not be realized in final production. Specifically, the screw hole covers and seams are still somewhat visible on the final production units. We have worked on making the covers as flush as possible and have minimized the seam line as much as we can. TOMY has a deep passion for creating high-quality die-cast that collectors will want to own and enjoy for years to come. With the Star Trek NCC 1701 USS Enterprise, we believe we have created a very special die-cast replica that will be a jewel in your collection. If the design detail leads you to be dissatisfied with your purchase, please contact TOMY customer service at cs@tomy.com or 1-800-704-8697 before shipping begins on October 6, 2023. We are thrilled to share the final product with you. Thank you for your enthusiasm, support, and feedback during the development and production process. We always strive to do our best for our customers and are appreciative of your partnership. We are excited to get shipping and can't wait to hear from you once the final product is received. Thank you. Best regards, Team Tony. TOMY. They're great. No, not Team Tony, Team TOMY. Alright, so there you have it. I mean, I ordered one of these. I hope to get it. I'm going to still get it regardless of the seam issues and the screw hole covers. But as you can see, even on the actual message they sent, they show the side of the Enterprise, the starboard side, which has no screw holes. This is like the first one they showed in their initial campaign. A lot of people have been really excited for this and backed this project. I don't know why they're still showing this one, because they have shown different pictures of the actual ship, which even at their booth when they go to conventions shows the beautiful side of the ship, the filming side. You can see there are no screw hole covers on that at all. There is a seam on the saucer though, but no seam on the nacelles. But some pictures have leaked of the final model, which you can see here. And as you can see, there are seam lines on the struts facing out. Not inward facing, outward facing, how you would see it. As well as a number of screw plugs and holes, which are on the display side of this model. And you're like, why is it on the display side? Well, I'll talk about that in just a second. Not only is this the side that you always see in TOS, this is, well, we'll get into it. Let's go to the next picture. Here you got another shot of it, and you can see the saucer seam, which is quite noticeable on the saucer section there. And I'm not talking where it connects to the secondary hull. I'm talking around the rim of the saucer. That is thoroughly unacceptable. My 350 scale round 2 model also has a seam line there because I didn't fill it. And I chose to do that because I'm not good at filling seams. So I'll show you that in a minute or two here when I talk about your options for other 350 scale Enterprises that you could own. If you look here too, you can see the seam line on the nacelle. The nacelle has a seam line running down the side along the banner of the Enterprise. That is the worst and dumbest place to put a seam line. Even on my round 2 350 scale model upstairs, when you assemble the model, the seam line is on the top of the nacelle. So from the side or on a display shelf, not really noticeable that much. Here we get to the stand. Now, in early projection shots of this ship, you saw a beautiful stand that it looks quite simplistic and quite beautiful almost. It's very simple. And I was concerned about this the entire process because I know this has saucer separation and you can display it with the saucer removed as well. But looking at this final stand, it is big, bulky, and ugly. And as you can see, the saucer itself requires a support. And not just one support, no, 2 supports, which are on the other side of the model that has no screw holes. Which, where I am going to display this model, that's the way I would have it facing. So I can't even do that because the stand will now be obscuring the view of the model, which means I am forced to display it this way with the screw holes visible, or the screw plugs visible. So that irritates me. Any Enterprise that requires a stand for the saucer section, in my opinion, isn't worth anything. When it comes to saucer separation, this has one screw which goes in the top of the back of the saucer down into the neck to hold it in place. This is about a 20-pound model because it's die cast. 8 pounds of that are in the saucer section alone. So the saucer section is quite heavy. So I get it. But that's one of the things I was worried about the entire time. When I was looking at this initial model that they were showing us, I was like, if it displays like that, I'm going to be super happy. Well, it doesn't. They say you can leave the saucer stand off for a small amount of time, but with the weight of it, it's going to put a lot of stress on not only the plastic stand, but also the model itself, and I don't know how that's going to affect it. I personally don't want to display it with the saucer stand like that. You got this beautiful planetary, lower planetary sensor dome, which is obscured, with a piece of clear plastic. Not the biggest of deals, I guess. Now, I am going to be keeping this model when I get it. A lot of people are calling and canceling their orders. I'm still pretty stoked about this because it's a large, high-detailed die-cast model with a few flaws that I can kind of overlook. I'm still going to get this model. I'm still going to do an unboxing for all you guys and show you guys the final model so that you guys can see what it's all about. Now, here is a shot of it from the top. You can see there's a lot of great weathering. You got the rust ring detail there. You can see the bridge dome glows. There's a lot of detail in the bridge as well. So there's a lot to this model that is still good, honestly. And I like the way this looks. Here's a shot of the saucer underside in the box. Again, look at this fantastic detail. And, quite noticeably, screw plugs. Which, Tomy's excuse for having the plugs visible is that collectors over the course of development were saying that how are they going to get into the inner workings when the pressure switches fail, when there's issues with it down the road. So their solution was to have the screw holes visible so that you can disassemble the model yourself, I guess. I'm not looking forward to that by any means. Apparently the screw plugs are in fact rubber, so therefore a different material than the die-cast metal around them. So I don't know how heat or environmental conditions will affect those. But looking here, you can see a lot of fantastic detail nonetheless. You even got the little nipple on the bottom of the sensor dome there, and it just looks pretty stellar. I kind of like the paint job. Plus you got the detail of the neck saucer separation there, which we never saw on TOS. Now a lot of people have made a big deal about this, saying, why include saucer separation if it's going to affect the model? No one cares. No one saw it in TOS. No one wants it. I wanted it. I think it's neat that it has saucer separation. This shirt shows the saucer separation. See, the saucer's in red. Shows the line. I was really looking forward to this, and I still am, honestly. So I wanted the saucer separation. I think it's a really cool feature. The fact we never actually saw it on screen doesn't matter to me. The fact that I knew it existed and we never saw it always bothered me. And on Trekyards, we actually did a whole, like a two-part thing talking about saucer separation in Star Trek, including TOS. So this model would have been handy to have at the time. Here is the top of the box. You can see there is some AA batteries there, perhaps AAA. But there you can see the detail on the top of the saucer. The top of the saucer looks so great, honestly. You can see bridge detail in the dome there. And they do have a forward-facing bridge. It's not offset, which some Franz Joseph people might not be happy with. But regardless, that's a battle that's been going on forever. I have no problem with it being forward. I prefer mine offset personally, but that's a whole other thing. Don't at me in the comments. So, rust ring, weathering, nice detail, good paint job. You can see the screw hole for where the screw goes in to attach the neck to the secondary hull. So you just pop that piece off and unscrew it when you want to display it without the saucer on. Now, as far as saucer separation goes, you can display it without the saucer on, as you can see here in one of their early mock-ups with not so bad a display stand. As you saw on the last picture I showed you of the saucer supports, there is an extra support on the saucer section now, and it does actually sit lower than the connection point there, so you can display the saucer lower, I believe lower anyway, in front of the Enterprise. So anyway, yeah, with the way the stand's set up, I might end up just displaying it in saucer separated mode because that's a cool feature, and it's also it'll look better, I think. But a lot of people are very dissatisfied with that, and I can understand why. I personally am looking forward to the saucer separation mode, but hey, that's me. Now, going back to the screw holes and such, you can see them here. The plugs, they have done a pretty good job of getting them flush, however you can see them, and it is on the display side, as I said, which is a real problem for me. Here too is a close-up of the seam on the nacelle and the struts, which is not great, to say the least. As for the details, you've got an open shuttle bay, and it comes with 3 shuttles, so that's kind of cool. You can also have the option to close the doors. I have not yet seen that feature, but I am looking forward to seeing how that comes about. But yeah, I mean, this was a limited edition. You had to pre-order before or by July 24th. 32-inch die-cast metal replica, $600 with free shipping in the US. That's the only place you could buy it. Premium closed box packaging and bonus 3 shuttles, the Columbus, the Galileo, and the Copernicus. This all looked great, and the reason people are so angry is because we were promised that the screw plugs would be hidden and or filled and sanded, as well as the seam lines before the final production, which they just never did. The issue I seem to have with it, and a lot of people do actually, is the fact that it was at a lot of trade shows and conventions, which people actually on Facebook got pictures of the model which had no screw holes in it, which is surprising to me. I don't know what they used for their mock-up, but it looks amazing. The final product, like I said, looks pretty good, especially that saucer section. I really am digging how that looks. I'm excited for this model still. I'm a little angry at the same time, but a lot of people are saying it's not worth the price. This is a $600 replica. Way better than anything Eagle Moss has given us or anything like that, and it's still a large-scale, fully lit, highly detailed model. Yes, there are some issues, but I'm going to be excited to see it. Now, what other options do you have for 350 scale Enterprises? Well, let's go take a look around this very house. Well guys, welcome to my ready room. And as you can see behind me, I already have a 350 scale Enterprise. This one is from Round 2 Models, which I built myself. So let's take a quick look at it and see what's going on with it. So this model is the same scale, plus you get a chance to build it yourself if that's something you're capable of. As you can see, no seam lines, at least visible seam lines, except for on the saucer there. I didn't quite do those as well as they could be done. But this thing runs you about the same price, honestly. The kit itself was $150. The lighting kit, weathering decals, and some of the photo etch was $250 for that kit, which is also from Round 2 Models. This has lights, my first lit model. This also has an issue with those, well, at least that kit anyway. Let's plug this in and I'll show you what I mean. There we go, we got it plugged in, but as you can hear, the motors that they give you with the Round 2 kit are a little loud. Those can be toned down a bit if you're good at that kind of thing. There's also a Tenna Controls board, which is just LED, which makes no sound, so you get the same kind of effect. So this thing is all lit up. As you can see, you also have the option to do the shuttle bay, as they have it on the TOMY one. This one also has the bridge detail in there, which is kind of hard to get with this camera, but photo etch parts for the consoles and such. So yeah, I already have a 350 scale that sits beautifully, looks great, and you know, that's the side I have displayed here, which would have screw holes if this was the TOMY. But anyway, so there is my 350 that I built from Round 2. So an excellent choice if you have the same kind of budget, but also have the ability to build a model kit, which a lot of people don't. So, as I said, the cost for this one is about the same, because you add up the model kit, all the accessories for lights and everything, plus all your photo etch, plus all your paint, plus all your time. You're looking at well over $600 for anybody to build one of these for you. So there's that. Next up we have the Bloks Enterprise, which I do not remember the cost that I got this for. You can still find them. I have a complete build series of this on my channel. Not a series, but a video of building this. This is also one 350 scale. And again, this looks kind of stellar. But you're asking, does this one have lights? Well, yes it does. There you have it. You just push on the nacelles and they glow for a short amount of time. So it does have Bizarre collector lights. There, they've gone off now, but if I recall correctly, this thing was about $200 to $300. You get a beautiful stand. You got Spock and Kirk there, as well as the dedication plaque. And so yeah, that one is also the same scale as the 350 Enterprise upstairs. As you can see, some good comparisons. Now let's go to the other option that I have, at least. Here's the other option. This is the Playmobil Enterprise, where honestly this is where my TOMY will be going And as you can see, this one is also quite large. This is actually the same scale as the other 350s I've shown you today. This one has, of course, the Playmobil bridge with the figures in there, as well as the engineering section. Some tribbles infecting it right now. This comes with a stand like this with some saucer supports, which I'm never a fan of. Any Enterprise that requires saucer supports isn't worth a lick, in my opinion. And it also comes with a little dedication plaque. Now, I know what you're asking. Does this one light up? Well, let's just take a look and see. As you can see, yes, this does light up. Nacelles glow. You got glowing bits in the warp. The engine room, sorry. The top dome glows. The bottom planetary sensor glows. The consoles light up. There's also red alerts and things like that. This thing comes with a complete app. Let me just put the secondary hull cover back on for a second. Get some more cool lighting in here. But yeah, this thing comes with a complete app. So many things you can do with it. Nacelle warp jump. This powers up the nacelles. And they get faster and faster. So yeah, as I said, this is where my TOMY would be going. It's hard to see on the camera, but they got quite a cool flicker on them. This one comes complete with sound effects and everything. So also the size of a 350 scale for about the same price. This was about well, it was $500 US when it came out, about $700 Canadian. And I did a whole video on, is it worth the price? To which I answered that very question. And then I actually got one, and I did another video doing a full review of it. So if you guys want to check that out, I would appreciate that. Just type in Trekyards Playmobil. You should find it. So there you go. Those are your options that I have anyway from for a 350 scale Enterprise. All about the same price. The Mega Bloks one might be a little bit cheaper. Well, there you have it, guys. The 350 round 2 model kit you can build yourself, which is fun to do if you're a model builder. And you can choose to not have seam lines. You can choose to light it any way you wish and do anything you want with it and not worry about saucer separation, although I'm sure you could incorporate that into it if you're courageous enough. There is also the Mega Bloks Enterprise, which I have up on the shelf behind me here, with the light up nacelles. Still a heavy model, but well worth it and fun to build. I did a complete video on the build of that as well on my channel, so check that out if you want. And it is 350 scale also, so it's like the exact same size as the round 2 model. And then of course the final one I showed you, the Playmobil Enterprise, which at the time was $600 upon release. I did a complete video on, is it worth the cost? And my conclusion was no, even with all its features and the phone app. But anyway, that video got a lot of traction on the channel, so much so that Playmobil contacted me and said, well, thank you for your awesome video. I had 32,000 views on it at the time. They said, but would you like to see one in hand? So they sent me one for free, which I did 2 complete reviews on. One full review, which is about an hour long, and then another shorter review, as well as an unboxing. So they're on the channel as well if you want to check those out. The Playmobil is quite a fun toy. I just don't like how deformed it is in the saucer section and whatnot. But hey, that's just me. It's not a high-end collectible like this was promising to be. So it's a toy. it's too expensive for a toy, but it's not accurate enough for a high-end replica. This is accurate enough for a high-end replica. The screw ports don't really bother me that much. As many people have said, if it's like a foot away or 2 feet away from you, which it will be a lot of times on display, you're not going to notice those screw plugs. Seams might be a little more noticeable, depending. Like the saucer one seems quite noticeable. So it's going to be on display. You saw when I showed you my Playmobil one, I showed you where I was going to be displaying it and the way I was going to be displaying it, which I don't think I can do now because of the way the stand is configured. I won't be able to display it facing that way and not have the stand right in the way, which is annoying. You should be able to change the side that the display stand needs to support the saucer, which is another sticky point. It shouldn't have to support the saucer. That is a big faux pas in my mind as far as Enterprise models go. It's a personal preference. I just don't, and I see it all the time. I see Enterprise models with supports on the saucer and I'm like, no. For the Playmobil, it's fine, I think, because it's a toy. But there you have it. Now, I don't know anything about the pressure switches. They're supposed to be in the struts, I believe. And I'm not quite sure how it's powered. I don't know if it has the option to be plugged in. I don't think it does. I think it's battery only, which is double A's, I believe. So that might be a problem as well for people. I don't know where those batteries would go. I haven't seen anything on that either. So if you know anything about how it's powered or if it has the option to be plugged in, I'd appreciate you guys letting me know. But I mean, overall, for the price, it's still not that bad. I know $600 is quite a lot of money, but as I showed you, all the other models are, you're going to be paying the same price for something that size. Whether you build it yourself, you can save a bit of money if you don't want to go all out with all the, photo etch and all that stuff. The cheapest one, I guess, nowadays would be the Bloks Enterprise if you can find it. But even it's not that inexpensive because it's all second, you're all finding on the secondary market right now. So a lot of people are charging quite a bit for that unassembled. And yeah, like the Playmobil one, I think it's dropped in price now. It's I believe it's $400 now, maybe $300, because they did realize that it wasn't selling quite as well. So I don't know what Tomy's going to do. They're going to have a lot of people canceling, and they needed to hit a certain number to produce the thing. So I think they're taking a loss and a hit, which good. You lied to your customers. They did do a poll where they asked what other ships you'd like to see in this scale, the refit, a D7, and I think there was an Enterprise D, but not in this scale, just the same kind of size, like the 3-foot length kind of thing. But there was a poll a little while ago. I would have liked to see the D7 this size or the refit. The refit was probably going to be next. A lot of people were speculating. However, I don't think that's going to happen now. Also, I know somebody that was involved in the back end of this, the back end as far as approvals went, because they're an expert with the Enterprise, the TOS Enterprise. They even helped restore the Smithsonian one. I was talking to him quite a bit, and during the process, and he kept like shaking his head like, they're not gonna, there's still issues, right? When I heard about this, I contacted them, and they said, Tomy screwed up. 2 or 3 of the people at the top didn't want to go ahead and make the changes that were necessary, and as a result, this is what we're getting. And they're going to be offering people refunds as long as you contact them before the shipping date, which is October 6th. Today is September 20th that I'm making this video and hopefully releasing it, so that you guys have some time. If you haven't got the email, or if you're still considering it, I don't know what to tell you. I am going to keep mine. It is getting shipped to a friend of mine in the US, which I will go down and pick it up once it arrives and bring it back here. I will do a complete unboxing and show you guys the ship. So there you have it. That is the TOMY Enterprise debacle. I don't know if I sounded ranty in this, but this is one of the Rant Alert series. I haven't done a Rant Alert series in a long time, but I had to do one for this because Tomy, you done dropped the ball, kid. I don't know what to tell you. I personally am looking forward to this model still to this day. I'm super excited to get it. Not as excited now though, just because of the issues that it's been having. I personally don't think it's worth canceling. I still think it's a good collectible at that size for that price, even with its little flaws. It'll still be a nice display piece. And as I said, if you put it on a shelf, put it up higher, which eventually I will do when I redo, when I get to rearranging the house a bit, this will probably be up higher, so it won't be as noticeable, those things. And that's what I have to tell you. Now, a lot of you are probably going to be mad at me saying you should cancel and teach Tomy a lesson. And while I kind of agree with you, I think enough people are going to be canceling from what I've seen online that they'll learn their lesson, and I'll still get my die-cast model that I can do an unboxing of and show you guys and let you know if it really was worth it to cancel or not. I just want to have it in hand. There you have it, guys. That's it for this little rant video. Please drop a like and please follow this channel, subscribe to this channel, the Captain Foley personal channel, as well as the Trekyards main channel, and check out another video by me as well. Until next time, I'm Captain Foley. See you later. Bye, guys.